Hi, my name is Marianne. I own a brand and a cultivation facility where our brand is called Alibi. We've been in Oregon for 8 years as an operator and expanded to New York, launched on 420. So excited to share insights from both of those markets, which are both challenging in different ways.
So let's get grounded first with, who we're all here to serve, which is the customer, right? So, Marianne, you just moved into New York, previously, well, still in Oregon. So, one of the most mature and price pressured markets. Now, new coast, new consumer, new market. What adjustments have you had to make for your messaging, for your packaging, all that to resonate with consumers in New York?
Yeah, that's a great question. And there have been so many things that we have had to change and adapt to be successful in both states. The first one is the obvious one, and that's our packaging and the regulatory requirements. The biggest thing that is maybe not obvious to people who are not in Oregon is that Oregon does not require child resistance for any flower pre-rolls, which is great because then we're able to have lower cost packaging. But in New York, we had to completely redesign everything and redesign it in such a way that we were still true to the brand, but also compliant with New York. So that took some time and took some effort. But the bigger challenge for us is coming from a cultivation facility and a state where we own the supply chain and we have our own operations, and moving that to a state where we don't own our operations. It's a white label agreement with a manufacturing partner, and figuring out how to tease out the brand story that's separate from our facilities in Oregon. And that's actually been a lot of fun. So I think the brand, figuring out what that brand story is and how to communicate it with the New York audience and the New York market has been a challenge, but in a good way. And hopefully we've gotten it.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's to go from Oregon to New York and navigating all those challenges. Yeah, that's a lift. So, Marianne, you have a pre-roll brand, one of the most saturated categories out there. So, how do you make the case to buyers and consumers that yours is different and worth it when there's 20 others out there at the same price point?
Well, I think it's a great question. And it's part of what our experience of having been an operator in Oregon for 8 years, it's part of the experience that we bring to the New York market. So, in my opinion, the path to success is really three things. So you've got to have the manufacturing all set and all dialed. So in Oregon, we own our own cultivation. I know what the quality is, but you've got to be able to repeat that over and over again so customers get used to the quality and you don't let them down. So that's one thing. The second thing is you've got to have a really dialed sales team because, as you know, taking care of shops, buyers change, buyers transition. So you've got to have a machine that knows how each shop wants to be dealt with and then meet them where they're at. And then the last thing, which really has been challenging in Oregon, but is so much fun in New York, is the consumer engagement. Because if you can drive customers to a shop where they're showing up, hey, where's my alibi? Then, I feel like we've really truly made it. And so it's all of that together that hopefully, if it all works out and comes together at the right place at the right time, then you've got magic.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the holy grail. If you have a customer coming in asking for your brand, that's it.
Yeah.
You have arrived. Yeah. So he mentioned Brendan, sorry, your name just escaped me for a minute. That partnership, right? With the brand and the retailer. You're a brand, right? So what are you doing to support your retailers, especially 50 retailers in New York with a new product?
It's been wild. One of the common themes that I keep hearing over and over and that really resonates is the fact that we don't treat sales as transactions. So it's not about making the sale today. It's about building the relationship so we can be successful together. And so for us, we've invested heavily in a grassroots marketing team that goes store to store. We will do pop-ups, indoor, educations, all of that kind of stuff. And to your point, Devin, I mean, I was doing some of this last week in New York. So I'm in a dispensary behind a table talking about people. Hey, have you heard of Alibi? Are you looking for pre-rolls? So having those conversations, because then we know what all is going on and what the customers are actually looking for. But really it's making that commitment because it's hard and it's expensive and the payoff is not today. The payoff is in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So before we move on to questions, because I do want to allow time for questions, just maybe one quick round robin for everyone. So what's one pitfall that you've seen or experienced that you would warn retailers or brands against?
So on the brand side, what's worked well for us is to find our lane and stick to it. It's really tempting to be distracted by all the new shiny objects. There's so much innovation and so many exciting things. And it's like, oh, I want to try that. Oh, I want to try that. But that's how you waste money, and that's you waste your precious resources. So we have focused on growing quality cannabis, making the best pre-rolls we can in the market, and doing the best that we can to build customer engagement and stick to our lane, do one thing and do it right.
I think we'll open it up for questions at this point. Yeah.
We don't talk about growth in cannabis anymore. You guys are. How do you keep that resident? Because what I've learned is when you stop talking about growing sales, sales stop. And it's an everyday thing. So how are you guys embedding that mentality and discipline within your business so you're always talking about how to grow the business? You're either growing or dying. And right now in cannabis and dying because we stopped talking about growth. But you guys are growing. How are you doing?
For us, it's about starting. It starts with knowing your why. So I got into this business as a cancer patient. So keeping that as forefront, that we really are changing lives. Like it sometimes is easy to forget that because there are patients and there are medical reasons that cannabis helps so much. So keep that as the shining light that you're heading for. And then we're forged in fire. We are profitable in Oregon, which is hard to do. So you have to focus on operational excellence, and that means whatever it means in your business. But you have to be focused and stay true to that.
Other questions?
I own a premium smoking accessories company, and I'm wondering from your guys' perspective of what are you looking for when it comes to ancillary products in the cannabis space? I know that it's not the largest side of the of your sales or revenue, but what is it that you guys are really focused on when it comes to bringing on new clients?
Yeah, that experiential marketing goes a long way. Yeah. Have you done anything with that, Marianne, in your launches?
We do a lot of that, and that's part of our big investment of building our brand in the community. And because Alibi, it's a beautiful brand. It's the imagery is so gorgeous, if I do say so myself. But so
Look it up, everyone.
So one of the things we've done, we sponsored an educational event in New York City at a college, showed up and were able to talk about cannabis to multi-generational consumers. It was amazing. We also sponsored a queer prom last weekend, so that was fun. So try to hit all of the demographics and show up in whatever ways that we can to build the community.
Wait, a queer prom like teenagers?
No, it was not teenagers, adults. Yes.
Okay. I was like, wow, you can do
Yeah.
that.
Part of Pride Month in New York.
Yeah. Any other questions?
My name's Jonathan. Lion Labs are a process manufacturer out of Michigan. And I'm just curious, in a price-driven market where innovation is really important, what categories are you seeing that are maybe underserved? And, where are you looking for from an innovation perspective for new products and maybe what consumers are gravitating towards as, this industry is continuously evolving?
The talk of future development, I really think the future is effects based. So, that seems kind of weird coming from a flower and pre-roll brand, but we figured out a way to do it in pre-rolls. But effects based, consistent effects based, I think, is the way to the future.
Yeah. Any other questions? This has been great. Thank you guys for hanging in here so long. And let's give it up for the panel. They're amazing.